What is going on YouTube? It's your boy, Mr. Random, and today I'm going to show you a step-by-step guide on how to install the infamous $20 eBay Siren. Now, before we get into that, a quick word from our sponsor. And if you guys are like me and you just can't get enough of working on cars, well, I have the game for you. It's called Car Mechanic Simulator 2015. Now, this game lets you live out the fantasy of working as a master mechanic and working on cars from the comfort of your own home. I included a link to the Steam store in the description down below, so make sure to check out Car Mechanic Simulator 2015. Also, guys, keep in mind the developers are releasing an upgraded 2018 version, so keep your eyes out for that as well. All right, now before we get started in the video, I'm not sure exactly how well this camera is going to pick it up. Remember, I do live in Miami, Florida, and the weather here is incredibly like this. It's been like this for almost an entire week, and it just finally stopped raining for me to have the chance to bring the car inside this backyard garage, this makeshift garage that I have, so we can install the eBay Siren. But the weather has been very crappy, guys, so pardon if there's any humidity that gets on the lens of the camera. I'm gonna have to rub it out, so you guys bear with me if there is anything like that. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. All right, so after many hours of searching on the interwebs, I have not found a really good and a comprehensive guide onto how to install this $20 eBay Siren right here, guys. Now, this is what the box looks like. These are the tools of the trade that I'm going to go over every single one by one, but this is what the box looked like. As you already know, I was desperate. I could not wait to open this freaking thing. Look at my dog drinking out of the pool. Anyways, I couldn't wait to open this thing, so yeah, I kind of opened it, but this is what the box looks like. Now, this is a 12-volt 5-tone Siren. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to have many questions as to the legality of this Siren. And here in the state of Florida, it is illegal to have anything that produces any other sound except what is provided on a horn on your vehicle, unless you are a police officer. Here is the catch to this Siren here. If you do live in the state of Florida, if you don't live in Florida, you guys are gonna have to check your local laws and see if they apply to you as well. Here is how we get around that law. This is actually, believe it or not, this is considered a controllable car alarm. That's right, this is actually technically a controllable car alarm. This produces pretty much the same exact noises that a car alarm does, except you can actually control it at your will. It doesn't go off when your car is stolen or anything like that. You can control it by the push of a button, and that's how we get around the Florida law. Here in the state of Florida, believe it or not, if you do have something like this, it is not a criminal violation. It is simply a non-moving violation. All they do is just give you a simple ticket for having excessive noise and having an extra horn. It's kind of like the equivalent of having a train horn or one of those one of those kind of things on your car. Anything that doesn't come stock that produces a horn sound from your car. So at the worst case scenario, if you're stupid and if you use this at inappropriate times, and if you get caught with this, you will be given a non-criminal, non-moving violation, somewhere around $100. So be warned, install this at your own risk. Unless you're a police officer, then you're more than welcome to have this in your vehicle per your department policy. Of course, you need to be given permission from your department. And now that we got all that mumbo jumbo out of the way, these are the tools of the trade that you're going to need. First of all, this package only brings this speaker. You could also, this is also an intercom. You can speak into this, and it's really loud. I'm going to show you guys exactly how loud it is. And it has a telephone jack connection at the end of it. And then, of course, it brings the actual speaker right here. This is the actual speaker, and it has a red positive cable for your battery and a negative cable for your ground. And at the very end of this, we have the end of the phone jack, which connects to your actual speaker or your console. Now, the problem with this is that I'm going to be installing it in the front of the car, in the very grill of the car. So believe it or not, this cable isn't long enough. So what I did was, you guys can do this as well. You go to your local Walmart and you grab yourself a phone jack splitter like this. And then what I grabbed myself was this specific kind of cable. This is the only cable that is going to fit your console. Okay, guys, this is the only type of cable. It needs to be this very thin one. The actual phone line one is a little bit thicker than this. This is more for like a headset adapter kind of thing, but it's also available at Walmart. What we do is our speaker is going to connect to our splitter, and then we connect the extension that we just bought to the splitter, to the very end of the console, and look at the length of cable that we have now created. I mean, this thing is incredibly long, which should provide enough room to go from the grill of the car all the way to the inside of the car. Now moving on up to the next tools that we are going to require to install this is I have here a red 8-foot primary cable and a black 8-foot primary cable as well. The reason I got them these two colors is so I can match them with the positive and the ground cable for the speaker as well. And they are 10 gauge, in case you guys are wondering. Got them from AutoZone. Shout out to Team Ricer if you're watching this. Yo, what's up, man? We also got these little terminals, because that's where we're going to hook up our cables. I'm going to show you guys exactly step by step how to install this. That's where our cables are going to connect to. Next up, we have a wire crimper right here, which is what we're going to use to crimp down on the cable once it's connected to our little mini terminals. We're also going to need some heat shrink tubing, and that is to create like a little bridge, a sealed bridge between our connections. And last thing we're going to need is a drill. We're actually going to have to drill a hole into our right under our firewall. Now, before we get started, I do want to give you guys a disclaimer. I wanted to do this video to show you guys that I have no electrical or wiring experience whatsoever, and yet I've still managed to install this myself. If I can do it, guys, you can do it. I believe in you. So just follow my guide step by step, and let's get started with this thing. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to pop the hood of our Crown Vic. The next thing we have to do is we have to remove this radiator cover right here. So we're just going to pull that right out. And the next step is actually to disassemble our grill. And in my case, it's actually very simple. But in case you guys are wondering, all there really is you guys see that nut right there attached to the stud. You see there's a couple more along the grill, along the top of the grill. Each of them should have, in theory, should have this nut here. So in my case, I only have one holding the entire grill. So I'm just going to unscrew that real quick. And then what we're going to do is, if you notice, your grill has clips in each end. What you're going to do is you're going to squeeze with your finger. You're going to squeeze. There we go. And push out. You're going to squeeze and push out. And you're going to repeat the step until you feel your grill coming out. The grill should just come right off like so. We're going to remove this. And in case you guys have ever wondered, this is what your Crown Victoria looks like when it is grillless, when it's not showing its grill. It actually looks pretty cool. It looks kind of like crazy, right? It's kind of like, I don't know, it's just very cool looking, in my opinion. It'd be cool to make like some sort of grill delete mod or something like that for the Crown Vic. Now, for a more stealthy look, I have decided to mount it right here in the middle of this gap. I'm gonna have it facing towards the left. Now, if you guys notice right here, you see this this curved part right there. All right, well, that it's like an arrow. So wherever this curved part faces, that's where the front of your speaker is gonna face. So what I'm gonna do is, like I said, I'm gonna mount it this way, right in the middle, which is gonna be right behind the Ford logo. So it's gonna be looking towards the left here, and I am gonna drill some good old self-tapping screws right here. There's 3 of them, so that's what we're gonna do. And of course, right on cue, the rain begins to pour. You gotta love Florida, guys. You gotta love Florida. Raining for a whole week straight, man. All right, so we cut our wires, guys. I already have the wires pre-cut. As you guys can see, we have the negative and the positive. Now the next step is to connect it to these little battery terminals that I got here from AutoZone. Here's what it looks like right there, 12, 10, there you go. And what we're gonna do is simply put the cable inside, and then we're gonna crimp them down. You're gonna wanna insert your cables, make sure they are as flat as possible, because you need to insert them through the little hole right there of your terminal. And what we're gonna do is feed the cables, the wires actually, correction, the wires through the hole of the terminal, okay, like so. We're gonna want just enough right about there. And then the next step is you're gonna grab your crimping tool right here, and you're gonna measure out your gauge. In this case, it's 12 to 10 gauge right there. And what we're gonna do is, you see that little piece of metal right there? That little piece of metal right there is what we're gonna crimp down. It's gonna hold down our wires. Alrighty. And the way to know that your crimping job has been successful is you try to pull on it and it doesn't go anywhere. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing, the same step to the positive as well. And for the next step, what I did was, for these new adapter cables that we just finished wire stripping, I got myself that heat shrink tubing that I told you guys about. Here it is right here. And what I did was I just kind of put it into the connection wire to the end, to both ends, to the positive cable and the negative cable that's going to connect to our speaker. That way, when we go ahead and form that bridge right there, we can just, you know, just bring in the little tubing right there, heat shrink wrap that biatch, and we will be good to go. All right, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to fray these cables just enough, just a little bit enough, so you can be able to braid them and integrate them in with your other cables from your speaker. So this is your speaker, this is your new, your single cable right there. You see the one that we just finished installing the terminal at one end. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect it right here. We're just going to kind of intertwine these cables together, and what you're going to want to do is kind of braid them together like so. Then once we have braided and intertwined those two cables, we're going to bring it in right here, and we're going to seal the deal with our heat shrink wrap. And now what I prefer to use is these little torches right here. I don't know if it comes out on camera, but that's what we're going to administer to this to kind of heat shrink wrap this biatch. So the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to mount the speaker to the bracket that I have installed right there. So we'll go ahead and get right to that, and then we're connected back to the battery. Later on, I'm going to zip tie all the wires. I wired it under the grill, up over the hood, and now I'm going to make my two battery connections. The positive is going to go with a positive, the negative with a negative. If you guys notice on the battery right here, you see that? Right there, that's where I'm going to connect the positive, and right here on the negative, it also has a little terminal like that as well. All right, so now that we have wired everything to the battery, and it's pretty much good to go. You guys can see it's not the best wiring job, but what I did was, like I said, I put it under the grill area. I wired it right through here, and then I put it right directly to the battery. I mean, if you look directly at the engine, you really can't even tell where all the wiring is. I kind of tucked it under all of this, and here it is right here. It's following along right through there. It's just been zip tied. Really simple, guys. It's really not going to go anywhere. The speaker is not going to go anywhere as well. So now the next step is to actually drill, and where we're going to drill is we're going to come right inside the car. Now it is going to be a little bit dark, like I said, because of the weather outside, but we're going to get under the car right here where all the pedals are. Okay, right there, that box. You guys see that box? Wait, let me see something. All right, there we go. That box you guys are looking at right there, all we have to do is lower some of that firewall, expose some of that firewall. See, when you expose that piece of firewall, all you're gonna do is drill approximately about 3 inches right below that black box right there. I'm sorry, guys. My phone is kind of creating a shadow. Exactly that black box right there, just about 3 inches under it, we're gonna drill. So let's go ahead and skip to that because it's too dark to really show you guys me drilling in here. All right, so once we have made our hole, I am not sure how easy it is to see it. I'm gonna try one more time. See if you guys can see it from here. Once we made our hole, what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our speaker right here, and then at the end of it, it does have that adapter that we got from Walmart that we kind of ghetto rigged, that phone jack adapter. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, and we're gonna feed it through that little hole that we just made under that square box. And once we fed a significant amount of that phone jack extension, we're gonna come around. Like I said, guys, you saw how I wired it nice, as best as I can, to the side here of the side fender. We're gonna look. Where is it? Right there. You guys can see it? Okay, I guess you can't. Maybe you can see it. Right over there. You guys can see it? So we're going to pull that through the hole that we just made, and we're going to bring it out to the top, to the surface. So as you guys can see right there, I've pulled out, not that much, just a little bit more of our end of the phone jack here. I'm going to pull just a little bit more, and now we're going to connect it to our little adapter here. That's where this comes in handy. We're going to connect one piece here and the other piece right there. There we go. Holy shiznit, guys. Look at this weather. Oh my God, this thing just keeps getting worse and worse. All right, anyways, back to the Crown Vic. I connected that, and I zip tied it to this top cable here. That way it can stay out of right here, that lower fender. There's a couple holes there that, you know, any dirt or water or anything might get kicked up. So keep it in a nice high place. Here's the moment of truth. Now, before we pick a final mounting place for our handheld unit, it's time to try this thing out. That way, once that thing goes in that car, we don't have to tinker around here anymore. So here we go. Let's give it a push and... Uh-oh. Oh, that sounds good. Testing. It's your boy, Mr. Random. All right, it works, guys. All right, so let's see if we can install this last piece before freaking Armageddon out there rolls upon us, guys. The last missing piece right here is this little bracket mount. Now, I've decided, let me turn on the air because it's hot as hell. I've decided to mount it somewhere right around here. Now, the reason why I'm going with this side instead of this side is because I feel like my knee's gonna be like messing around with the cable too much. And there it is, guys, nice and drilled in. Let's give it a little test. Perfect, look at that. Goes right in. I don't really ever plan on taking this out and using it. If anything, I'll just push the buttons from here. It should really come in handy when people are swerving in the middle of your lane, texting and driving in the middle of the highway, and they have no idea that you're on their lane. So that's gonna be a plus. So now what's left to do is actually to just fix up and tidy up everything that's down there. I don't want this anywhere near my brake pedals or anything like that. I want you guys to take a look at this. Look at this Miami weather. Look at my duck. Holy crap. My duck was blown out of the pool. Oh my God, dude. Holy crap, man. We are in for one hell of a storm, guys. I need to deflate this thing before it blows away. Holy crap, dude. Actually, guys, since the weather's so bad, I'm gonna wait a day or two. You guys don't have to wait. I'm just gonna cut right to it. I'm just gonna cut right to it with the magic of editing. Look at my dog rolling around over there. Anyways, because the weather's way too bad, so I'm gonna take this car to the middle of nowhere where I can make as much noise as humanly possible without really annoying anybody or anything like that. Holy crap, I just realized that light went out. Not good. That sucks. Anyways, I forgot to mention, guys, remember the terminals that I used right there? Well, I ended up having to switch them. I got the 12 to 10 gauge battery terminals, but they're the weatherproof and they are 5/16. The other ones were a lot smaller and did not fit the Crown Vic, those little mini terminals. So if you guys are gonna do this to your Crown Vic, make sure you use the 5/16 inch. So let's go ahead and snap back to a better weather and fully test out the Siren. So let's get right to it. And right before we start, of course, none of this could have been possible without my very good friend Vipersyls. Now, as soon as this video is over, I want you guys to go ahead and head over to his YouTube page, which I will be linking in the description below, and also follow him on Instagram. Now, if you guys are into moto vlogs, then this guy is definitely the guy for you. Now, he has some really cool content, and some of it is extremely hilarious. So I want you guys to go ahead and swing by my boy Vipersyls YouTube page and go ahead and hit that subscribe button, man, and show your boy some love. Okay, so we are in the middle of nowhere, which is the perfect place to finally test out our Siren, guys. So let's go ahead and go inside and push every single button in there. Alrighty, guys, so here we go. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go through every single button and we're gonna push them, and then I'm gonna show you guys an outside view exactly of what that sounds like. So the first button we have here is the Siren button. The next button we have is this one right here. That's the alarm button. Then we have the Yelp button. And then after that we have a fire button. And then last but not least, we have the whale button.